Does your business focus on price as a selling point, or do you focus on offering great experiences as a selling point? I'm going to demonstrate what it takes to increase your customer base, customer loyalty, and customer referrals without the reason being price. In fact, recent studies have shown most salespeople overwhelmingly list price as the number one reason for making the purchase, when actually most customers list price as number 8 in importance. Last year, my wife and I went out to purchase a hot tub. We had predetermined that we could only afford something in the price range of $3,500. Prior to visiting the hot tub store, we had called and arranged to be able to sit in several different models to try them out before we spent that kind of money. The first tub that the salesman had us try was fantastic. It had a stereo system, could very easily hold 8 people. It had fountains, 3 pumps, an unbelievable assortment of jets, bubbles, and controls for everything. It even had a built-in fiber optics light show. After sitting in this tub, I thought, no way could I possibly find anything better than this. So I told the salesman, this has got to be it. It'd probably be the one. He tells me $9,500. Of course, I was shocked and I said, no way. So we decided to try a few other tubs that were closer to our price. Nothing was even close to the experience I had in that first tub. My wife looked at me and said, you know, I can tell you will never be happy with any of these hot tubs. Just get the one you like. So needless to say, we bought the $9,500 hot tub, $6,000 over our budget. Am I happy? Absolutely. There is no way I could have been happy with any of the others, especially after experiencing that first one. My point in this story is that customers will value price based on the experience offered. Demonstrating that you will offer a much better experience than anticipated will instantly increase your value to the customer. If your organization's experience and value is much higher than everyone else, you get the work. If they trust you and believe that you will do a great job and take care of their needs, that's all that matters, and price is no longer the issue. Since we're talking about experiences and value, let me bring up a company that charges a fee specifically for experiences: Disney World. Most people I've met with have been to either Disney World, Disneyland, or a similar amusement park. You will have to agree, a day there is not cheap. Yet we pay to stand in line, get hot, get tired, and overall become exhausted by the end of the day. Once our experience there is complete, we usually look back at it and say, yes, it was worth it. Yet we actually really don't have anything to show for it. Maybe a sunburn and some pictures, but if you really think about it, nothing has really improved in our life as a result of spending thousands of dollars. Yet we say it was worth it, simply because of the experience. Yes, it truly is all about the experience. Now that I've offered several examples of why improved experiences become higher value, that will eventually become more profits to you. That also leads to more referrals and eventually increased customer loyalty. So let's go through 6 important steps in creating great experiences in your contracting business. Number 1, the telephone. First of all, I highly recommend you have real people answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I myself use a live answering service. Sure, it costs me around $100 a month, but you know, to me it is worth it. Think about all those times you have called a potential customer back to only hear something like, never mind, we found someone else. Odds are they contacted a real person. The idea that someone will leave a message after hearing a recording when they have an emergency, that's not a reality. People will hang up when they don't get a real person, or they'll keep calling and leaving messages until someone actually talks to them. That is a fact, and you may be losing 20 to 50% of potential business growth with just this one bad practice. Make the investment to a great answering service. That $100 to $150 per month or so investment will pay you back many times. When your people do answer the phone, are they smiling or are they annoyed? I can't even begin to count how many times I've called a business to only hear someone on the other end sound like I just ruined their day. With all the time and money spent trying to get the phone to ring, employees should be thrilled and jumping for joy that someone is calling to spend money with you. They should be saying things like, thank goodness the phone is ringing. We still have a job. It's all in the attitude displayed on the phone. I highly recommend you script out a greeting, have everyone use it, and practice with them regularly. Plus, a periodic phone call from you just to make sure they're doing it right will help greatly. And when they are doing it correctly, reward them. Don't ever back off on the pursuit of communication excellence on the phone. The most important part of all is making sure your phone representatives do understand that their main objective is to get you or one of your people in front of the customer, because otherwise you make no money. It is their goal to turn that call into a visit, and you need to focus on that. The waiting time and time commitment. A recent nationwide survey of customers who had purchased a new or replacement heating or air conditioning system showed the number one reason they chose a contractor to do the work was that they actually showed up on time. So here's an easy to implement concept. Actually show up during the time promised and odds are you'll get the work. I cannot begin to even count how many times I've scheduled people to do work around my house and they failed to show up on time and they didn't even bother to call. To me, that is disrespectful and inconsiderate and is a good enough reason to never do business with them again. Step 3, the visit. There is no doubt the most important part of the entire customer experience is the visit. When you arrive, make sure the customer knows without a doubt that you are very appreciative of their business and are thrilled that they selected you over every other choice they could possibly have had. There is no reason why you should not look clean and professional. I don't care if you just left an attic or a crawl space. Carry an extra uniform or two, some wet wipes to clean up with, and of course deodorant. No one is impressed with the "I've been working hard, I stink, and I'm all dirty" look. It just doesn't cut it. My wife would not be comfortable letting this guy come into our home. One of the most important things of a successful business is consistency and planning. When I was responsible for the performance of several hundred field service technicians, I didn't want to assume everyone was doing everything correctly and consistently. I made it a point to script out and practice the customer greeting, the recommendations, and the close. I was not willing to assume that everyone did it correctly, so we practiced over and over again to the point that they could say it in their sleep. It is essential that everyone has an understanding as to how to properly communicate with the customer, and the only way that can be done is with practice. That script needs to include choices and options because people like to make their own decisions. Present these with total honesty and sincerity. Also, while in the home, take the time to check everything. All of this money and effort is spent to get you in front of the customer, and now you're in a hurry to get out? Take the time to do a whole house check. Ask the customer questions like, are there any parts of the home that are not as comfortable as others? Any humid or dry areas? Any funny noises like whistling sounds that may bother them? Don't be afraid to comment on anything that would help them. All right, step 4, the difference. Here is the moment of truth, showing the customer why you are better than anyone else. If you've done everything I've mentioned already, you're already way ahead of the competition. Let people know you have a drug-free workplace. Don't just say we offer great service, a warranty, and so on. Everybody says that. Tell them with total sincerity and honesty, I promise you this, if anything does go wrong as a result of something I did, no matter what, I'll make it right. In fact, if they have 2 or 3 competitors, recommendations sitting there on a table in front of you, don't even touch them. Don't look at them. Tell the customer, it doesn't matter what they have to say. I'm going to give you my best price. And most likely, I won't be the cheapest. Because in order for our company to provide the fastest and best customer support, the highest quality, hire the best employees, and offer the best service possible, we do have to charge a little bit more. These words will get you much further than being the lowest price. Step 5, the recommendation. Remember that you should avoid the words bid or quote. Say recommendations or investment instead. And make sure you give them as many choices as possible, especially if we are looking at a major investment like a system replacement. Let them decide whether they will purchase a high-end product or budget model. In fact, I recommend you give them 3 choices. Statistics have shown that if you offer 3 choices, good, better, or best, most people will pick better or best. Never give a discount after your initial recommendation because remember, you already gave them your best price. Don't play games. It makes you look dishonest. If you run into that customer who just has to have something free, offer them a gift certificate for $50 to a local restaurant, an extended warranty, or free filters. Never play games with your price. Step number 6, the follow-up. Here are some numbers you should know. 48% of salespeople never follow up with a prospect. 25% of salespeople make a second contact and they stop. 12% of salespeople make more than 3 contacts. As far as actual sales results are concerned, here we go. 2% of sales are made on a first contact. 3% of sales are made on a second contact. 5% of sales are made on a third contact. 10% are made on a fourth. And 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. So when someone tells you that they are thinking about it or will get back with you, don't hesitate to follow up with them. Odds are your results will show the time was well worth it. All right, some key points to remember. The experience you offer your customer does determine the value. You can charge higher fees if you create greater experiences. This is not rocket science or brain surgery, just a few simple to implement processes and routines, and you will be on your way to increase customer loyalty and referrals. As Walt Disney once said, whatever you do, do it well. And do it so well that when people see you do it, they will want to come back and they will want to bring others. Thank you so much for joining me today.